So, methods to love. That is, the ways in which we arrive into love are the ways that we've inherited, the ways that we've learnt, or the vehicles that we have that bring us into a presence or state of love. That is essentially what tonight is about. We're looking at how this happens throughout our lifespan, throughout our development, and then once we have some understanding of how the dynamics of it work, where we can move forward from there. So one of the ideas behind human behaviour is that at any one time we're constantly seeking love, and we do that no matter what, whether it's could be like destructive forces or like hurting ourselves, addictions or that type of behaviour can often be a way in which we try to seek love, or we've learnt a certain way. And then there's other ways which is more internal growth and giving, which seems to be a certain balance that occurs with our behaviour around seeking love. If we could imagine, love is it's hard to define love, really. So it's methods to getting to something that we can't really grasp. You can't say this is love and then put it in a frame and weigh it. It doesn't really work that way, which makes it a bit harder. So just to, as a mental kind of framework to work from, if we were to imagine love as the sun and our behaviour throughout our life as the earth, which orbits the sun, and it's the balance between centrifugal and centripetal forces between the earth and the sun that keep things moving, and those will be the methods. And each method has a yin and a yang to it, the centripetal and the centrifugal.
Centripetal, I've forgotten.
Centripetal is pulling towards, centrifugal is stretching away. That's the right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's the right physics term for it.
Centrifugal.
Yeah, something stretching out, contracting and expanding,
Okay.
which is the yin and the yang, really. So one memory that everyone here shares, and it's probably the most identical memory that you'll ever have to another human being, is of a time when you were fully supported, just fully loved, fully nourished. You're so well taken care of, and you just being you, not having to do anything, you just being you gave so much joy and love to the people around you. And even you healed your environment, you actively healed your environment by just being you. And then we got born, right? That in utero state is that often referred to as that divine love state. Carl Jung wrote, every child was born God and then their parents beat it out of them. And so when we get born, we go from this really divine loving being into this absolutely vulnerable, screaming, crying, pooping thing that just sucks up all the information around it, and we are completely at the mercy of these greater forces. And these forces have a very strict agenda for us. You know, you have a baby, you've got to get them into diapers and into potty trained, and then this, and you give them a name, and the personality happens, and teach them who's this and what's that and what you're going to do and how the world works, and just layer after layer of this culturalization process, which is necessary, comes upon us. And after all of that, here we arrive. And believe it or not, somewhere along that line, we lost sight that we are still this loving being. That just being us can give so much love, and just being us can actually actively heal our environment. But we've lost sight because of those layers that happen. Alan Watts wrote a lot about this. He called it the acculturation and the deculturation process. And it's that apex of that curve, that's the moment you hit adulthood. is when you realize, well, this is who I am because of everything I've learned and taught, and then there's almost this process of unlearning that starts to occur. You unlearn certain things, and you can unlearn in certain ways or particular things to kind of shape who you want to be and how you want to be. And for that reason, methods to love, or the way in which we arrive in love, is predominantly a letting go process or a reductive process, far more than it is an additional process. You know, how many times have been caught saying like, oh, you know, this is great, but you know what, you know, in Sparta, this is great, but you know, wine would be better, or some bubbles, or this, and you can keep adding, keep adding to things. And then you can end up with a mansion and a fancy car and 3 wives, and you can still be depressed out of your mind.